What's up, what's up? Happy New Year. I am at JFK International Airport, and I might be one of the only ones crazy enough to be taking a flight on New Year's. It actually leaves at 12:50 a.m. on the 1st. So I'm going to be celebrating on Cathay Pacific Airlines going from JFK to Hong Kong. And I'm really excited to be going out to Hong Kong and Macau for some poker and some coaching, some business. It's going to be an exciting trip. Let's go. Alright, it's me in the lounge all by myself pretty much at midnight cheersing with my glass of wine, but in a way it's kind of nice. It's an interesting New Year's. It's cool to just reflect on my year of 2018. I had an incredible year. It was amazing, and it's cool to start the new year off doing something exciting like boarding an amazing flight to Asia. So this is definitely a journey and adventure, but sometimes you can't make it. So anyway, we're off on our own. Landed in Hong Kong. It was 5:30 when I landed. I just got to downtown, took the little SkyTrain. It's incredible. It's like, what, $10, $15? And it's 24 minutes. I feel much safer in there than a taxi. There's free Wi-Fi on board. Super smooth, clean, awesome way to see the city. Got to the Mandarin. I am going to grab breakfast. It is almost 7 a.m. They're just about to open their breakfast. And I'm super excited to go in, hang out, get some tea, freshen up, do a little bit of work, knock out a few emails, and get on with the day. Parked myself in this beautiful coffee shop, and I actually have a lesson with a client virtually on Skype. I do a lot of Skype coaching and consulting. He's actually in Slovenia now, so he's in Europe. I'm in Hong Kong. We're somehow connecting, like his night, my morning. It's like weird hours. But anyway, super excited to be here. Just feeling really blessed to be in Hong Kong, being able to be out here for poker and coaching and meetings. It's just so exciting as a way to start the new year, kicking it off, doing something adventurous like this. On the plane ride over here, I got some work done, and I wrote out a blog post that is detailing my 2019 New Year's resolutions. Now, I've been skeptical about New Year's resolutions in the past, and I go more in depth about this in the blog, so click the link below if you want to learn more. But basically my feeling is that if you're waiting for New Year's, like an arbitrary time like New Year's, to set a resolution, then it's probably not something that's that motivating, and you're not going to feel compelled to go and fight when the going gets tough, when there's an obstacle in your way, because you're just kind of waiting arbitrarily for something like New Year's to set a resolution for something you could be doing any day of the month. Anyway, but I've kind of fallen into setting resolutions the past couple of years because coincidentally my goals sort of coincide with that, and also because I feel like sharing them really holds me accountable, and writing blog posts and sharing them with you guys is something that's really been beneficial to me, because now it's like, oh, I'm making these public, and it's kind of like commanding your resolutions, not just having something in your head, but something that's really tangible, and writing out, a plan of attack and some goals. So I'd like to share them with you here, my New Year's resolutions for 2019. Again, more info in the blog post. But my first one is scaling conscious poker, and I really been working on this for the past year. I feel like 2018 we laid the groundwork, and 2019 is time to capitalize. My word of the year is crush, because I feel like it's time to just crush my goals in this year. Whereas last year my word of the year was patience, because I knew I had a lot of work to do to get up to this point where I could actually scale and crush it. So I'm really excited to see what developments happen in 2019 with the business. Second goal, and I'm gonna make myself a little vulnerable here, is eating in moderation. I almost made my word of the year moderation, because I've been oscillating between extremes with my diet, where I'm eating super healthy for a while, and then I'll be off the wagon and just completely be binging and indulging, and I feel like it's not really working. Like, I used to be on this diet program like 10 years ago when I was really wanted to get in great physical shape, and my trainer would be like, eat clean for 6 days and then go and indulge and eat whatever you want one day. And the problem was that, you'd have these binge cheat days where you could like kind of save up your calories or whatever to eat whatever you want. And while that works for some people, for me personally, it just wasn't working, because what I found was there's a very slippery slope between eating perfect, eating clean, and cheating. And what I found is that as soon as I would indulge in one or two things, like a cookie or some chocolate or a piece of cake or a piece of pizza, I would just be like, oh, today's a cheat day, fuck it, and then I would just binge on everything. So like, I'm kind of black and white, and for my personality, I guess it just didn't really work. And I like a moderation 365 approach, where like I can have a cookie on a given day and not have to feel like I'm bouncing between these two extremes. It's something I've been struggling with recently. And it's the first time I'm really sharing this, but I want to be more raw and vulnerable on this channel. I'm a human, I have defects, and this is what I've been really struggling with. It's pissing me off. It's time to fucking stop it, and I'm committed to making this a moderation 365 year in terms of dieting. Actually, not really dieting, just eating normal all the time. So goal number 3 is become fluent in Italian, and my Italian's good. I could hold a conversation, I could speak about any subject. But I do make grammatical mistakes, and the real issue for me is that with my Italian is that it's not like compelling. Like, I'd like to be able to do this. Like, I can make a video, I could be funny, I could be charming, I could have different gears to my personality in English because I can express myself, whereas I can't really do that in Italian the way I would like to. And so I define success in being fluent for me being able to make a compelling YouTube video about any subject I want and get my message across to a larger audience. That's really why I want to up my game in Italian in 2019, and I'm committed to reading multiple books in Italian and studying grammar on a daily basis, as well as speaking with my wife Ambra in Italian every time we are in Italy. Goal number 4 has been on the list for a while. I want to start a show and a podcast. And you'd be like, well, you already have a YouTube, and I do, but I'd really like to have like a call-in show. I envision a show where like people could call in and ask questions, and I could give them my perspective on poker and life and share answers with them, and then we can maybe even do that in person in the future if this sort of takes off, where people could come into the studio and film, and then we take the audio and put that on a podcast. So I'd really like to have a more Q&A, like conversation, open, vulnerable talk with people, and I think that'd be a great way to learn and connect with my audience as well as provide value. The 5th thing I'd like to do is finish a novel that I've been working on about my life as a high-stakes poker player, traveling the world, playing in the biggest games in Macau and elsewhere, and also my personal journey as a love story, meeting my wife Ambra, which was crazy serendipitous as well. And it's something I've had on my bucket list for 10 years, 12 years, 15 years to write a book, but I finally feel like I'm at the right place to do it in my life, and I also have a subject which really can hold the weight for a book. And so I'd really like to get that writing part done in 2019 as a first draft, and then I could worry about publishing later on. The last thing I'd like to do is expand my keynote business. I'd really like to give more keynotes. I did a few in 2018. They were very amazing. I loved it. I really love being on stage. I grew up doing musical theater in high school, and so being on stage and then also sharing my message is obviously something I love. You can see I like to talk. And so that was an incredible platform for me, and I really like to expand that in 2019, and I'm committed to even traveling wherever I need to give more keynotes, get my message out there, build my brand that way as well. So those are my goals for 2019. I would love to share them with you. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts, your guys' goals. Feel free to leave them in a comment below. I'm always loving to learn more about you guys as well. And so now I am going to set up shop here in Hong Kong, do a quick, not really quick, we have a 2-hour mastermind coaching session. It's gonna be intense, but I got some Red Dragon tea at the Mandarin, and I'm feeling ready to do it. Let's go. Hey man, what's up? How's it going? What time is it there in Slovenia? Oh man, that was intense. It just crushed a 3-hour lesson. It ended up going longer than we thought, but we were right in the middle of it. Some awesome stuff, content. Man, I love connecting with people and being able to share what I learned. Feeling like making an impact and helping someone else on their journey is definitely one of the most rewarding things about what I do. By far more rewarding than actually playing poker. It's helping others on their journey, so that was awesome. It's noon, and I am going to try and check in early to the hotel and shower, freshen up. I'm gonna try not to sleep and pull like a 24-hour, day so that I stay up till tonight, and then I go to bed and I'm on a normal time, because I got a lesson tomorrow with a client at noon, and I gotta be on point for that. So I'm gonna try and stay up as long as I can and just enjoy the city, stay out, stay in the energy, be around people, see people like that, just walking around, and that keeps me excited and going. So off to the hotel. See you guys soon. showered, I shaved, I rested for a couple hours in the room, watched Taylor Swift's Reputation tour on Netflix. Highly recommend it. She's amazing, huge fan. Went to see her in concert back in the day. You know, a couple years ago, actually, maybe 5-10 years ago, I actually would have been more embarrassed to say that, but now I just really don't care. I just more all in on myself, and if people judge me or don't like me, that's cool. But I'm a huge fan of her, and she's inspiring to watch that show. Now I am walking around the streets of Hong Kong. Look at this. Cool little street markets here. Going to look for some healthy food. Just trying to stay awake until 8 so I can sleep, get up early tomorrow. Got a 6 to 8 hour coaching session, which I'm excited about, but I'm gonna try and sleep as much as possible tonight. Hong Kong is an incredible city. It's a lot like New York, I guess, is the closest city to compare it to, the Asian version of New York. A lot of energy, a lot of people, a lot of madness, a little bit of everything. It is really cool, and I highly recommend seeing it, adding it to your bucket list. I personally like the area of Soho in Central. It's the most like Western area of Hong Kong. There's a little bit of everything. A lot more gentrified, health food stores. Things are always open, but at the same time, you still get a feel of Asia and what it's like to be here. So I really recommend coming to see this area and exploring Hong Kong while you're here, and making Asia part of your bucket list, because there's really no place in the world like it. Alright, I got suckered into getting a massage. They gave out these little flyers on the side of the road, and I was like, that sounds great. 20 bucks, I get a 30-minute massage. Gotta love Asia. Man, that massage was seriously epic. I booked an appointment going back tomorrow after my coaching lesson. It was that good. So I was reflecting during the massage, was thinking more about this idea of just being yourself in the face of a society that it's gonna judge you and want you to change and conform. And aside from my parents, my mom, my dad, instilling dramatic amounts of confidence in me at a young age, that was, you know, just a hand I was dealt. I was just given that by having incredible parents. I think poker really taught me to just go all in on being yourself, because ultimately, when I was 16 and I, you know, had a dream of being a professional poker player, when I was 18, I dropped out of school to play. Everyone was judging me for that, and a lot of people didn't accept it. Society wasn't really keen on people playing poker for a living. It wasn't as popular as it is today, and I think just being involved in that really gave me the confidence to realize that, you know what, whether you do what you want or you try to be someone else or try to be someone else's definition of what they think you should be, people are going to judge you regardless. And so you might as well just be yourself, because at least you're going to attract people to your life that ultimately you are like-minded and that you want to be like. And whether you're yourself or what you think other people want you to be, people are going to judge you regardless. And so there's always going to be someone that has something to say or that doesn't approve or accept you or whatever. And I think just being in the poker environment really gave me the confidence to just be more of myself. It's just one thing I wanted to share with you guys as I was reflecting on that during the massage. What else? I think I learned a little bit in my coaching session today. Something else I'd like to share with you guys as well. It was really fun to coach someone that has the ambition to play high stakes poker in Macau. I can't really name who it is for privacy, but you know, high stakes player online, does really well and wants to break into playing the, you know, 1K, 2K games and above in Macau. And it was really interesting because he had this approach of really trying to be focused on, you know, the EV of going out there, like what's the hourly going to be, what's the ROI going to be, is it worth it from a monetary standpoint. And the perspective I feel like that really hit home that I shared with him was that you can't always quantify things in an EV sense. You can't always just say, like, you know, it's the best decision because your hourly is going to be higher. Because there's so many things that going to do an experience like going to Macau to play poker professionally, especially playing the big game, is going to give you from an experiential standpoint that no amount of EV can ever really like quantify that. It's just like you're going to get an enriching experience in life that is just so much deeper than just what your hourly is going to be. And who knows the people that you're going to meet or what you're going to learn or the culture you're going to be a part of and something you're going to remember when you're old. It's really hard to put an ROI on something like that. And I feel like for a lot of people out there, who are in situations where they're debating between, you know, taking a year and studying abroad, or going the safe route and staying in school at home, or taking that job that's a little bit more experimental, like working at a startup or whatever. There's just so many things that you can't quantify, and really trying to understand what your motivation is for doing it, and having the perspective of it's going to be an experience, and that in and of itself is worth more, or at least as much as just the monetary benefit. It really takes the pressure off of demanding a certain level of success, and also keeps, I think, the right balance of why you're approaching to do something like that. So I think this was a really interesting career shift that he was going through, and I was fortunate to be able to provide perspective, having lived the life of a high-stakes poker player in Macau for many years. That was something that was really fun to share. So I think I'm gonna wrap this vlog up here. Tomorrow's another day, another vlog. Got excited to share some stuff with you guys in that video as well, my coaching journey here in Macau. Stay tuned, more awesome content coming your way. Subscribe to this channel. Let me know your thoughts in a comment below. I'd love to hear about your New Year's resolutions, what your favorite part of this vlog was, and when you're coming to Hong Kong. Anyway, hit me up. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.